Singer Tyla is back in the headlines, and not for the reasons her team would want. She is being called out once again for allegedly borrowing someone else's creative concept. And the reason the word again matters here is because this is not the first time her name has been attached to this kind of accusation. Many will remember when Young Miami publicly called her out for allegedly lifting the concept behind her song Chanel. Young Miami claimed she personally played the track for Tyla. And shortly after that listening session, Tyla went ahead and recorded her own song with the same title. Now, to be fair, the two songs sound nothing alike musically, but the underlying concept, very similar, and that similarity is what started the conversation. Then came another accusation from a lesser-known artist called Flower of Love. She claimed that Tyla's creative directors had been closely studying her mood board, specifically pointing to the use of a hill as a stage prop, insisting she originated that idea. However, fans were quick to pull up receipts showing that multiple artists across different eras have used a hill as a stage element, making it far from an original concept. But Flower of Love stood her ground and doubled down, insisting Tyla's team had been drawing directly from her work. She also pointed out that Tyla is familiar with her music, suggesting that any inspiration taken was anything but accidental. And now Tyla finds herself facing yet another accusation, this time from an artist named Ayra Starr. It is also worth noting that these two have been repeatedly compared to each other for quite some time now, from their fashion choices to their dance style to their overall performance energy. And that constant comparison appears to be largely due to the simple fact that they are two of the very few African female artists to break through on a truly international level. And beyond that, they operate in a remarkably similar musical space. Both lean heavily into African-influenced pop music, blending Afro beats, amapiano, and R&B into a sound that feels both rooted and globally accessible. So on the surface, the comparison makes sense. But personally, I have always felt these are two distinctly different artists. Different sounds, different vocal textures, different energy, different overall vibe. They may share a lane, but they are not the same driver. And honestly, both of them are genuinely talented. Tyla's music speaks for itself. And Ayra Starr? She is seriously underrated. She has a song called Hot Body that should have been massive. I genuinely do not understand why her team did not push that record harder, because the potential was absolutely there. But back to the main point. The latest accusation centers around Tyla's upcoming album titled Apop, which represents African pop music as a defined genre. Tyla is clearly making a bold statement about owning and elevating that sound. However, people were quick to point out that Ayra Starr actually tweeted about A-pop years ago, drawing a direct comparison to K-pop long before Tyla made it her album concept. And then there is the tracklist situation. Tyla revealed a song called Who's That Girl, which also happens to be the exact title of an existing Ayra Starr single featuring Rema. Naturally, people connected the dots and the accusations started flying again. But Tyla's supporters pushed back immediately. They argued that Apop as a term existed long before either artist claimed it. And Who's That Girl as a title has been used countless times throughout music history. Eve used it, countless others have too. So neither element is exactly original territory. Still, it is easy to understand why people draw these conclusions. Tyla and Ayra are peers. They are watching each other. They share similar goals and similar audiences. And at the heart of it all, both of them appear to want the same thing: to become the defining face of African pop music on the world stage.
I wanted to be a pop star so bad. I wanted to be a teenage pop star, to be exact. I wanted to be the Black Hannah Montana. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be that representation for Black women and like African girls.
I just always, when I was younger, I always wanted to see like a pop star from South Africa. So that's basically my goal. I really want to be the biggest pop star, and for people back home, not only South Africa but Africa in general, to see someone from the continent be on that level.
So at the end of the day, both of them want to be the face of African pop on the world stage. But here is the difference. Tyla and her team know exactly how to read a moment and capitalize on it. They are moving with intention, pushing her forward as the undisputed face of APOP with full force and a clear strategy. And part of that strategy involves drawing inspiration from artists already operating in that space. Some people find that unfair, and that feeling is understandable. But here is the reality. This is not new. This is not unique to Tyla. This is just how the industry operates. The moment the machine decides it wants to push a particular artist, a whole team assembles around them. Styling teams, creative directors, A&R executives, all working together to craft a look, a sound, and a direction. And more often than not, that process involves pulling concepts from artists who never got their proper moment in the spotlight. Which brings me to a story that most people have never heard. There was a pop and rock artist named Fefe Dobson who was making serious noise in the early 2000s. Her sound, her energy, and her overall aesthetic went on to directly influence artists like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez. And her visual identity and rebrand approach? It quietly inspired Rihanna's transformation. But Fefe Dobson rarely gets credited for any of it. And the reason comes down to timing and circumstance. She was ahead of her time. A young black girl doing pop-rock music at a moment when the industry had no real framework for marketing that combination. So instead of investing in her properly, the industry extracted what she had built and handed it to artists they considered more commercially viable. Artists they knew how to sell. And that right there is the pattern. When the industry chooses its next star, they do not always build something new. They find what already works, take it from whoever created it, and package it around someone they have already decided to bet on. That is the game. And it has been playing out quietly for decades.
Pop for rock, and I was too rock for pop, and that created a problem. Yeah, so the album didn't come out, and then a couple of songs were covered, I guess you would say, by like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez and Jordan Sparks. Well, Miley did a song that was supposed to be on Sunday Love, but we didn't put it on, called Start All Over. Album got shelved. Def Jam had dropped me at that point, and I heard someone singing this song that sounded so familiar. And at that point, I thought my career was done. And I was like, why does this sound so familiar? Wait, I think I wrote this song. And I went out, and it was Miley Cyrus singing Start All Over. And that was supposed to be on the album. And then after that, it was like Selena Gomez doing As a Blonde, which is the first song, I think, on the album, on Sunday Love.
Crazy. Priyanna. We had a nickname for Fefe. We called her Priyanna. and we called her Priyanna because Rihanna came along, but she actually came to prominence after Fefe on the same label, which was Island Def Jam. They were looking for something. They didn't know what that was. Their whole viewpoint is, what's this next thing we're gonna do? They know it's coming. They feel it. They feel the next thing coming, but they don't know what it is. So Fefe was the girl that was inviting me to like some club in Toronto. She's like, yeah, I got some friends here, and it was like Kanye and Jay-Z. And they just come up to hang with her. She was like that, she bridged the gap. They all loved her. And so she was doing all these different records and like trying different things. And then here comes along Rihanna, who now can have a career because like the way that a lot of record labels work, people don't know that. It's like if there's someone there already that's kind of embodies that. And so Rihanna kind of benefited in the same way as I call Tina Turner Beyonce.
Wow.
But without a Tina Turner event, there wouldn't be a Beyonce event. We need a Beyonce or a Priyanna before we piranha.
Jeez, bars!
And that kind of,
And that really sums up the whole picture. These artists and their teams move through the industry, picking off other people's styles and concepts without a second thought. And most of the time, nobody is held accountable for it.
Please like, comment,
but I want to hear from you. What do you think about everything we just discussed?
Thank you so much for watching.
Do you think Tyla is genuinely taking from other artists, or is this all just coincidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, because this is exactly the kind of conversation worth having. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like it, share it with someone who would find this interesting, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss what we cover next. It genuinely means everything and helps this channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.